It was catastrophic. It was like a bomb.
Heartache and disbelief. A major explosion rocks a northwest Baltimore neighborhood.
The blast levels 3 homes, damages several others, and leaves 1 person dead.
The dramatic rescues and the search for answers continues. Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Rick Ritter. Tragedy in northwest Baltimore after that massive gas explosion. Crews there have been on the scene for hours and are still there tonight digging through debris.
We've had a team of reporters on the ground from the very beginning. We begin our live team coverage tonight with Joy Burnett. Joy.
Well, Vic, the blast rocked this block sometime after 9:30 this morning. Now more than 12 hours later, crews are still here, as you mentioned, on the scene. We're being told that they will be here throughout the night digging through the rubble. At this point, at least 1 person has died. Several others have been injured.
I mean, it scared me to death. It scared me to death.
WJZ obtained this doorbell camera video. It shows the exact moment 3 houses exploded. Underneath the rubble in West Baltimore, people were trapped. Officials later revealed 1 person died.
I look outside, I screaming for the people in this house.
Video sent to us from a WJZ viewer who was on the scene moments after the explosion appears to show firefighters pulling a victim from the rubble. It's so graphic, we've decided to blur the images.
It's just a horrible, horrible thing.
Ray Daniels said 3 of his family members were hurt. He described the neighbors who risked their own lives to help out angels.
My nephew was in the basement when the whole thing went down, where my sister and my niece, they were on the top floors. So everything just dropped to the bottom on them.
Chopper 13 was over the scene as crews from Baltimore City, Baltimore County, even Howard County worked for hours through the rubble and the dangerous heat.
At this time, our members are continuing to work to remove debris.
For this gas explosion, BGE said no one reported smelling gas odors. The power of the blast near Labyrinth Road sent a wave of energy several blocks over. Now homeowners are left to clean up after an unexpected explosion.
My other house is across the street from it. Her whole front of her house, her bedroom is depleted, front doors in the kitchen.
Now, Ray Daniels said all 3 of his family members, they are okay. You heard from him a little bit earlier in that piece. So many of these homes were damaged. We counted 16 on 1 block alone. Tonight, many of the homeowners are boarding up. Some of them have gone to hotels. Others are waiting for their insurance companies to call back. We must also let you know that officials are still investigating the cause of this gas explosion. Live at 11, Joy Burnett for WJZ.
All right, Joy, thank you. Annie Rose Ramos joins us now.
She has incredible stories of people jumping into action to help moments after that explosion. Annie Rose.
Well, Rick and Vic, some of the most remarkable stories that we heard throughout the day were those accounts of heroism, where we were able to see Baltimore's bravery shining through the horror of today's blast that all started with a boom.
Like a boom.
Boom! Windows busted out, people running.
It blew the telephone out of my hand.
Oh, my coffee. It blew out of my hand.
A single boom, sending everything into chaos.
Our windows are shattered, and then I went outside and saw what happened, so I told my mom to give me her shoes.
I didn't think. I didn't have on shoes. I just took off running down my alley.
And sending heroes into the debris.
We automatically just went for the house.
You could hear a woman agonizing pain. You could hear her yelling,
"Help, I'm right here, help." And we're like, call out louder.
Yelling, I'm in here, help, help. And me and 4 other guys were out there just throwing bricks and debris trying to get to them.
Dean Jones, Albert Senwa, Antoinette Parrish, and Shay Bond, who was already suffering from a previous injury to her back, but it didn't stop her from jumping in to help.
I was in a car accident not too long ago, but I was down there digging people out, so that's why my back is hurting.
We all just got in there and we started digging by hand, brick by brick, center blocks. You can see I got a cut on my hand from trying to reach, just trying to save this woman.
Digging for people despite the danger.
We could hear like a and we were like, that's gas, we need to move, but them guys didn't care. They just kept throwing blocks.
you can smell gas profusely, very, very heavily. We had to worry about, another explosion, but we had to try to get to the victims as well. When someone screams like that, it doesn't really matter about pain or something like that. It's time to get to them. It's time to get to the bottom of that.
And Rick and Vic, that group that you just heard from, they managed to pull a woman from out of this rubble alive thanks to their help. Now, what you're seeing behind me is just a group continuing to work. It's been hours. We've been here all day, and they continue to dig through this rubble. They look like they're on the bottom level towards the basement. I'll move out of the way so you can see a little bit better, but we can see from my vantage point, I can see a group kind of in that bottom level in the basement pulling out with their hands just pieces of rubble. I just saw them throw a couch pillow, now a piece of a helmet. So they're just continuing to work. They're going to work through the night, as Avajoy mentioned. They've just been so incredibly tireless throughout the day, and now they're finally getting a reprieve from that heat. But the work continues throughout the night. Reporting live, I'm Annie Rose Ramos for WJZ.
Yeah, more than 10 hours now. Eddie Rose, thank you. Let's bring in Kelsey Kushner now. She has the latest update from BGE.
And crews are still on the scene tonight working to figure out what caused the explosion. Kelsey, give us an update, please.
Yeah, Rick, Vic, well, tonight BGE says that all but 7 homes now have their power back on. Of course, the 3 homes that were demolished and then 4 by request of the fire department. But there's still a lot of neighbors out here. They've boarded up their windows. They've decided to take off. We know BGE says that they know where this explosion happened right here behind me, but they don't know how it happened. And that has a lot of neighbors worried. They say they're worried that this could actually happen again.
It was just like a boom, and then it shook the whole building.
It was a feeling echoed throughout the neighborhood. Monday's explosion turned homes inside out.
I could have been dead.
Power lines snapped and bricks crumbled into pieces.
Gone. Gone. Totally gone.
As the sun beat down, over 200 homes were left without power. Firefighters went door to door checking gas meters. BGE trucks lined Labyrinth Street as crews shut down the gas to 38 homes and worked to figure out what went wrong.
It's really too early to say how long it's going to be before we can get gas service restarted to those properties.
BGE officials say the area's gas infrastructure was installed back in 1960, and their most recent inspection of the area was nearly a year ago. They say crews never identified any gas leaks, and prior to the explosion, they received no calls about a gas odor. Some neighbors are worried it could happen again.
I'm definitely scared.
Meanwhile, a couple blocks away, strangers became friends, helping each other stay cool with water while the power was out.
It's the least I can do.
Now back live out here is another look at the scene. Now BGE tells me that they have to wait for firefighters to remove the rubble, and then they can get the clear to actually start digging up that area. But they haven't gotten the okay for them to do that yet. They say they do plan on remaining out here throughout the night, not only to make sure that it's safe for neighbors to return back home, but also to make sure that those repairs have been made. Reporting live tonight, Kelsey Kushner for WJZ.
An incredible effort, Kelsey. Thank you very much. Rachel Minitock joins us now.
And Rachel explains people, even complete strangers, they are stepping up at a time when this community really needs it the most. Rachel.
That's right, and this staging area is a place to grab a bite, to cool off, and to get information about temporary housing options. And thanks to these very generous community members here, it is also a place where anyone who has been displaced can get clothing and household necessities. You could even talk to a mental health expert.
As dozens of people wait to find out whether or not they can return into their homes, relief efforts are just a block away.
This is the beginning of our response. There are folks who have lost their homes. There are families who have lost loved ones or injured. So what we're going to do is work with those families individually.
There we go. The Red Cross, FEMA, and Baltimore City agencies set up shop in the parking lot of the Reisterstown Road Plaza.
Let's step in that house, don't never roll.
A generous wave of community support also came through with much needed supplies. James, I'll start with you. Tell me what motivated you to come out here and help today.
Well, first and foremost, that's just the way my mother raised me. She always said that if you can't help someone, don't hinder them.
So once they start lining up, we can just start putting stuff in the car.
In the short term, people can hydrate, pick up food, toiletries, home goods, clothing, and shoes of all sizes. Looking ahead, there are trauma counselors and people helping to house those whose homes are now destroyed.
We're not sure if it's structurally safe to return into, but at the moment, Everything has been blown out, including a steel door.
Sharon is here with her 90-year-old mother, Caroline, who lives 3 doors away from the site of the explosion.
I was in the kitchen this morning when I heard this blast, and I thought it was my gas stove.
Caroline is thankfully okay, but doesn't know the status of her house.
I've never been through anything like this in my life, and I'm 90 years old. I've never seen anything like this.
And there's no sign of things slowing down over here. Volunteers and donations continue to pour into this staging area, and the Red Cross tells me that it will be here through the evening and into the early morning to help out anyone who has been displaced. We're live just off of Reisterstown Road. I'm Rachel Menitoff for WJZ.
Rachel, thank you. Governor Hogan tweeting his thoughts and praises for all the victims affected by this, as well as first responders. He also says deeply grateful to those first responders on the scene. Mayor Young and City Council President Brandon Scott echoing that sentiment.
And I want everybody in the city really to rally around those individuals that are still fighting for their lives. That's where we should put all our hopes, all our prayers, all our energy into those individuals and their families, and just hoping that we can support them to survive through this. This is a tragic incident. We're very grateful to all the first responders, all the city help, all the professional help, those from the other counties that came to help us in this tragic incident. But I need the entire city of Baltimore right now to focus on hopeful prayers for those individuals that are impacted by this.
And if you're just joining us, here's what we know about the deadly explosion in northwest Baltimore. 1 woman is dead, at least 7 others are seriously injured. The scene along Labyrinth Road near Reisterstown and Brook Hill Roads still active at this hour. BGE remains on the scene and reminds anyone who smells gas to give them a call.
And they say no gas odors were reported before this morning's explosion. We are told power has been restored to all but 7 homes. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation.
And we're working to learn more about this developing story. For more pictures and resources, you can get more information on our website at WJZ.com.